us for the graduate school orientation event that we have today. I appreciate the folks that are showing up in person. It really does show that you guys are putting your maximum effort into graduate school, and it is going to pay off in the long run. Let's also not forget the folks that are joining in online. Thank you so much. Later on, we're going to talk about the majors that you're probably coming from. I still see people rolling in. So we're going to give it a couple more minutes as they're signing on. Looks like they're still joining in. But yeah, so this event is really just going to cover some of the resources that we offer exclusively to graduate students here at TAMIU. We take extra care of them because, you know, as a lot of them have been in TAMIU for their undergrad, and we want to see through it that they have the support and resources they need as they get their master's or even their doctoral degree. So my name is Tano Trevino. Looks like we can get started now. Everyone's signed in. I work for TAMIU ARC as the program manager, which is the Advancing Research and Curriculum. And we've been working diligently for the last 5 years to ensure that you guys have all the tools you need to succeed at the graduate level. So no matter what your experience is or what your discipline is, we've catered something to you, odds are, within these past 5 years to ensure that you have everything you need. I'm also joined by our writing consultants, some of the services that we'll go over later, the graduate school as well, staff is here, and we also have some folks that are going to talk to you a little bit about some of the mental health services that are offered here. So before we get started, I do want to give the floor to Dr. Norris. She's currently the interim dean of graduate school. So I'll let her go ahead and give herself an introduction, and she wants to just say a few words to you guys.
Thank you, Tano. Welcome to everybody, and congratulations for having made the decision to go to graduate school and for having been admitted. We're very, very happy that you're here, and also those that are online. And our job is to make your experience the best possible. So we're here to serve you. And I'm joined by the graduate school team. I would like to introduce the Director of Recruitment and Admissions, Guillermo Gonzalez, who goes by Memo, and he can introduce the rest of the team.
Hi everyone, my name is Guillermo Gonzalez. I'm the Director of Graduate Admissions and Recruitment for the university, and I want to thank you for being here today, and just know that the grad school is always here for you guys. Anything that you need, let us know. We would like to be your first point of contact for anything graduate studies that you need. Our staff is here. I want to start off with Ms. Michelle Gonzalez, one of our admissions counselors, Danielle Gonzalez, another admissions counselor, Ms. Ana Buentello, our Associate Director of Graduate Admissions and Recruitment, and Ms. Gabby Castillo, our another graduate admissions counselor. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for those introductions. I still see some folks joining in online. Looks like we also have some folks walking in here as well. So I prepared a little presentation here for you guys just to talk about what your journey is going to be like if this is your first year. However, if this is not your first year at graduate school, I still think that it's important to touch on some of these topics that we're going to cover today. So give me 1 second here so I can share the screen with folks that are here online. Okay. All right, so like I said, I did prepare a bit of a slideshow to show you guys what kind of tools and resources that are offered here by TAMIU. The presentation is going to go first your academic essentials, which is just what the expectations are, things that you might encounter at the graduate level, some online tools that we have for you readily available via Blackboard Collaborate. We also got resources on other websites such as our own and YouTube, and we let you guys know on our Instagrams and Twitter and all that fun stuff. We have professional development workshops, which are kind of like these, but they're catered more towards specific content areas that may have not that you may need more help with for your classes. We have resources and support services, and of course, mental health services that TAMIU offers. And then we're going to conclude the presentation with Q&A if you guys want to ask any questions and some closing remarks. So, okay, you can come on in. So, the academic essentials here. So, as you guys know, some of you online are probably in one of the 10 online programs. A lot of you were able to get education here because a lot of our programs are accessible in ways like not requiring a GRA, but you get the most value for your education here at TAMIU. So that's here is TAMIU's got one of the most affordable MBAs, and also it ranks in the top 50 of the MP degree. So I just want to get some feedback from the audience. What majors do we have here today? Which one? History and political thought. That's a good one. Is anybody in this cohort, or does anyone have any other major? Because there's quite a few. It's okay. You don't have to be shy. And if you're online, feel free to type it in the chat as well. That's okay. Because we have these many different graduate programs here at TAMIU. So there's quite a few of you, maybe not here in this room at this moment, maybe not here even online, but odds are you run into somebody that's in a graduate program here at TAMIU. Their voice isn't as loud or prominent as maybe the majority of the undergrad students here, but oftentimes you're going to find that your cohort is going to be your main circle. But I encourage you to reach out to other students that are in different programs so you can maybe network with them and get some interdisciplinary work, because you'd be surprised where you can find inspiration from. And it's usually in the most unlikely of places. So, we have different focuses for the MBA program. College of Arts and Sciences has their communication program, the counseling psychology program, and we also have the English program, and a whole bunch of other ones. So you probably see yours here. And if you don't, you're probably in one of the many online degree programs. And this is taken straight from the graduate school website. So we have exclusively online degree programs in business administration, or bilingual education, or special curriculum and instruction courses. So odds are you are going to be in one of these. And if you're not, you're probably in the two esteemed doctoral programs. So we're working towards getting more of these folks registered for these programs, but available to you guys maybe after you have your master's, or if you're in this program. You got a Doctor of Philosophy in International Business Administration and Doctor of Philosophy in Criminal Justice. So I trust that all you are, registered and enjoy these sort of programs so far. And there's only so much that, going to these classes all the time and, doing the coursework will get you as far as the resources go. So for the TAMIU ARC program, which is the Advancing Research and Curriculum grant, we focus more on giving you outside of class support. Right? This includes things like, you may have noticed, the online Blackboard orientation. And if you haven't used it yet, that's quite all right. Some of you that take the in-person classes don't start till February the 1st. But you may have noticed this one course called Graduate Student Orientation appear as a course when you sign on to Blackboard. And you might be thinking, wait, I didn't exactly sign up for this course. Well, this is available to you, and it's going to be there for the rest of your graduate school experience. And that's only because it shows you all of the different resources and tools that you can use and utilize throughout your graduate school experience. Not only that, it's a good way to contact you in case we have other events like this, or if there's any specific workshops that you guys want to let us, or that you guys want to join, and you can also contact us through this. So the way that the orientation works is that it's broken up into different modules that you see here. And these modules can be taken in any order, but it does have some instructions here, with the first one kind of explaining how the orientation works, and then some online expectations, academic honesty, online learning strategies, exploring your learning management system, which is, for Blackboard, and university support services, and university policies and program information. So it is pretty essential that you log on to Blackboard and you complete some of these modules. That way you have a full understanding as to what TAMIU has to offer, and you're not questioning or wondering if there's more resources that are specific to graduate students. I think oftentimes a lot of things can be like lost in the mix. So this is a good way to centralize everything to ensure that you're getting the most out of your college experience. So when you log on, it is gonna, welcome you for the first module, and it will guide you through all 3 modules. But like I said before, all of these are gonna be available afterwards, even if you complete all of these modules, so you can refer back to them and see if there's anything that you might want to use. Most people will finish their master's degrees in 2 years, so it's important to go back, throughout those 2 years to ensure that you're, holding yourself to the highest standards. Let me give you a quick live demonstration here, so you can see what it looks like if you haven't yet logged in. Just a moment. All right, so when you log into Blackboard, you're going to see the orientation as a standalone class. And these are some of the things that you're greeted with upon login. So it's the student orientation. You press start here, and then it shows you how exactly you can get started and navigate your way around, this specific course. It has a nice little welcome video, this diagram that I showed earlier. Course module learning objectives. So this just tells you what each module does. In case you wanted to skip to certain ones, I would suggest you start off with the first one. And then if you feel the need to go to a different one at any point, you can. You have that option. And there's neat little videos as well that, there's neat little videos there that, help guide you a little bit better. When you click on a module, you do have a pre-orientation survey. Be sure to take that. That just helps us gauge exactly how much you knew before completing any of these modules, and that way we can determine if this was actually effective. So far, it has been pretty effective. Folks that do the orientation tend to do better overall. It's probably because they have access to all of these different resources. So the first module, it's basically just telling you what, how the different resources at TAMIU work, like the university calendar, what social media you should follow, the newspaper, and it helps you be part of the community, especially if you're, in one of those many online programs. So you have the option to take a selfie, manage your portfolio, and of course a knowledge check. I'm not going to go too much into detail into all of these different modules because I trust that you'll explore them on your own, but your main hub is going to be here on the side, right? And they all come with nice little videos and instructions on what you should expect, and also some advice on, your different classes. And this is especially important if you haven't been to college in quite some time. There are some folks that don't actually start their master's degree until well after they finish their bachelor's. So they have that, time in between, so to catch up. And this just helps it become an easier process for them. And there's also a good way to, meet with your cohorts and talk about some of these resources. It's all conveniently there for you guys, again, throughout the entire semester and the rest of your college experience. A good one I would suggest going back to is Module 4, Online Learning Strategies. So this is specific to, techniques to make sure that you're achieving your goals at the graduate level and being able to document your goals. And also a module on self-motivation to ensure that you are, achieving everything you sought out to. If you have trouble with time management, there's also some time management tools and time management activities, some flexibility tools, organizing your study area, pretty much anything you can think about is on here. So do your homework and explore everything that the online orientation has to offer, because there are some things on here that you may have not considered when you wanted to enter graduate school. So the professional development workshops, these are 8 different events that are spread out throughout the semester and that are offered by the TAMIU ARC office. And we'll usually notify you in the same way that we notified you about this particular event through the online orientation course shell. So be on the lookout for those notifications. And we also send out some notifications online, via our social media channels and also on our website. So we have a mission statement here, TAMIU ARC's mission of developing a community of scholars, placing a greater value on graduate coursework and research, led to the development of professional development program. Since the spring of 2020, the professional development program has provided frequent high-quality workshops and training support for graduate students, faculty, and staff. This gives TAMIU community the resources, skills, and experience to go beyond with their education here at TAMIU. So these workshops are conducted by both accomplished TAMIU faculty and partners from other institutions. Content varies from core competencies such as writing, presentation skills, to multiple course enhancement workshops on new research technology, methodology, and even how to publish in academic journals. And I know what you must be thinking, wow, you've been doing these workshops since 2020. Maybe there was a workshop I may have missed that I can't actually access now because I just started graduate school, this spring. Well, lucky for you, we record all of our workshops. So if you want to go back all the way to 2020 and see any of the vast array of workshops and the resources that we've developed throughout these 5 years, you can, and you do have access to them. And we cater the specific content on there for the classes that people traditionally have a difficult time in. So you can access all of these by going to go.tamiu.edu/ARC workshops. Let me show you what that looks like as well. So I think it's a neat feature. It's hosted on the TAMIU page. So if you sign on to that link right there, go.tamiu.edu/ARC workshops, you'll have our schedule for the upcoming workshops and where to register, as well as all of these different ones, and of course the one that we're going to be working on, spring 2024. Now, you could click through any of these if you want to go to a specific semester, maybe one that you attended in the past, or you can just browse by going down. So let's say spring 21, right? We want to look at any of these other ones. EDA using Python. We have an SPSS tutorial. We have a ref and write, defending and submitting your thesis. a workshop on RefWorks, a workshop on starting your thesis, another one on RefWorks. We skip ahead to fall 21, how to start writing your thesis, RefWorks, equity and inclusion, more RefWorks, preparing for academic conferences, cloud-based data analysis using DTAL, APA 7 formatting, and of course, you can access all the presentation materials by clicking View Presentation, and it will open either a video or a PowerPoint presentation where you can access the materials that were used. So please go into this website and look to see if there's something here that may apply to your courses. Oftentimes, we do focus on research-heavy courses, so you may see some on like creating surveys for Qualtrics, or the graduate library resources, submitting to IRB, Python coding, and Vivo workshops. All of these are there. There are some that do have both the recording and the presentation slides. So even though we are still doing some new events every semester that you can watch like live, we do take extra care to ensure that they are all recorded. So the more successful ones, I would say, are the ones that do focus on the software. Because, if you're in a classroom and you guys only meet once a week, because usually online face-to-face classes only meet once a week, you might not have a lot of time to, go over the different software that you'll be using, to run your statistical analysis or running any type of qualitative analysis. So we made it easy and we put it all in one centralized area here. We also have Jamovi, in case you guys know what the Jamovi is. We have one on machine learning. Career Services also helped us out and hosted a workshop in case you wanted to get more information about the career services that TAMIU offers. So go online, maybe take a look at this website, and you may be wondering, okay, that's great, but I'm not going to watch a 1 hour long video of this website just to learn a little bit more about SPSS, the statistical software SPSS. I just want to know, a very specific feature of SPSS. Well, we have also recordings that are broken up into smaller segments, more digestible. So we have specific areas that you want to look at or a specific program. We have our YouTube channel where we've broken up some of those, workshop videos into more digestible pieces. So if you have a quick question and you want to look through our YouTube channel to see if, there's a software question or maybe something about writing your thesis, we also have some on Excel. It's all there and it's going to be there, until the end of time. So even after you finish your degree and you enter the workforce, you may want to go back to these references, just to catch up on, some of the learning that you did throughout your graduate experience. So, like I said, this is just some knowledge that we've accumulated over the years that I think you should, take a look at. So, this workshop is also, parts of it are also going to be on there, and the schedule that we have for this upcoming semester, being the spring, we have another one on Jamovi, one for thesis, another for machine learning, SPSS, graduate workshop for statisticians, and then how to bloom your class project into real research. So if any of these interest you, and maybe they interest you at a later date, you can register here by clicking the register here link and filling out the form. You could also just show up if you'd like. Registration is not completely necessary, but this just gives us an idea on who exactly is going to be attending these events. All right, I know that was a lot, but there is a lot of different assistance out there for you guys. Now, especially the ones that haven't been in school a while and are just entering a graduate program, we do understand that, the standards may be a little bit different than they were when you went to college. Maybe you're not used to writing things that well, or whatever it may be. TAMIU ARC does try to be the piece of the puzzle, to complete your degree. That covers the professional development area for TAMIU ARC. Another core component that we have is a writing consultant, not to be confused with the writing center at TAMIU that's just focused for undergraduates. We have our own program that focuses on graduate writing. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to Franco Zamora. He's been working with ARC since its inception, 5 years now. So he has seen all types of different papers from all types of different disciplines, a lot of theses, some dissertations. So I'm going to let him talk about the services that he offers.
Okay. All right, thanks for coming, everybody. My name is Franco Zamora. I am your graduate writing consultant. I work for TAMIU ARC. I've been here since 2020, started in January of that year. So yeah, it's been 5 years. It's a crazy long amount of time. I graduated from TAMU in 2019. I got my master's degree in English. I did a thesis on helping students with their writing, and that's what I continue to do. I'll talk a little bit about the services that I provide or that we provide through ARC with regard to writing consultations, and a little bit about myself. Like I was just saying, I am also a PhD student at Texas Women's University online. So in a lot of ways, I know what it's like to be a graduate student dealing with writing and doing online coursework, because I continue to do that, not just as a focus of my career and this work that I do here at TAMU, but also as a fellow student, as somebody else who's going through those same sorts of programs online and having those same concerns and issues that current graduate students are dealing with probably. Writing consultations, they vary in range from students who are doing their first semesters in graduate program, all the way up to students who are working on their doctoral dissertations and their master's thesis. So as I was saying, I've seen kind of everything. I work with graduate students who are in English programs, a history program, all of the business, education, criminal justice, students who are doing research, students who are doing something that's more technical, even students who are just looking for quick resource help with citation styles, citation management, finding credible sources for their research, things as simple as a quick grammar and editing check, all the way to helping brainstorm and edit and read through dissertation work. No matter what it is, as long as it is involving graduate writing, I'm a resource available for you. I'll tell you a little bit about how to access those resources and how best to get in touch with me. Especially those of you who are online students. A lot of the work that I do actually is with online students and has been since before the lockdown, since before the pandemic hit. We're very focused on online students, and there's also just many resources for in-person students. So, like I said, there's support in the form of individual sessions, individual one-on-one tutoring sessions, face-to-face sessions, online sessions. Sometimes students like to get a hold of me just via email. They'll email me a quick question: how do I format this? How do I cite this? Sometimes they want to get a hold of me via phone, and so they call me in my office instead. I'll post my contact information in a second. A lot of the sessions I do are virtual. Students meet with me via Teams or Zoom during times that are convenient for them. And sometimes they have something that they want me to look at ahead of time, like a paper or article that they're working on. And other times they need help just brainstorming something. They're not quite at the stage where they're fully ready to submit their work. That's okay too. I see those students sometimes from the pre-writing stage all the way up to help me with the final edits of that paper. The best way to get a hold of me probably is by emailing me or trying to use that virtual link, which I'll show you how to make that session, how to make that appointment. Especially towards the ends of the semester, since we are working with online students, those students have two waves of semester that are it's a little bit different than maybe some of you who are not in accelerated online programs. If you're in an accelerated online program, you know that there's going to be a shorter turnaround on your courses. So then I have students who are coming to me 5 or 6 weeks into the semester and saying, I need help with a final. Whereas some other students are coming to me and saying, I need help with midterms. So you really want to get a hold of me through those virtual sessions, make an appointment, maybe even make it ahead of time. There's no limit on the number of appointments that you can make, or there's no limit on the time that you can set your appointments in advance. So if you want to get a hold of me and you know that it's going to be busy towards the end of the semester, maybe even you can make an appointment today if you want to. So I'm going to navigate to the website really quick here. And our website also contains, just like it has all of our resources for professional development workshops, it has plenty of resources for writing and writing consultation stuff. This is the hub for not just getting in touch with me and not just booking appointments, but also looking at resources and items that that I and the rest of the team have cultivated that are about writing. So from this writing consultant page, usually I tend to, if you can't remember the entire link name, I'll search TAMIU ARC writing consultant or TAMIU ARC graduate writing, and those tend to be the first results. There's 2 buttons here that are important to remember. There's the schedule appointment button and the submit paper for review button. Most people are going to be interested in this schedule appointment button. If you're scheduling an appointment with me, you can book time here. These appointments can be virtual or in person, whatever is your preference. You can check that box at the bottom. By default, all appointments are online, so that's good for our online students. I tend to have a mixture of hours from some weekend hours, evening hours that are convenient for graduate students, since I know that many graduate students are working professionals, I myself included in them. So I have hours that flex, and I have time to meet with you that's convenient for graduate students specifically. So the best way to get a hold of me is through that link, that button for scheduling appointments. This submit paper for review button is interesting. If you have something that you're working on that's a little shorter, something that's 2 pages or less, you can actually submit it directly through the WooFoo form here. And this is a place where, let's say, students want help with citations or a discussion board post, something that's a little smaller. They just have the opportunity to submit it here with all their rest of their information. And I try to respond to these within 24 hours to get that turnaround, to get that back with students, especially those who aren't looking to make a whole appointment and set time that's going to be difficult for them to meet with me. Lastly, I want to look at these writing resources, which are at the bottom of the page. These are, like I said, cultivated. These are ones that we're continuously adding to and making new resources for. These are things that range from citation styles. They might be goal setting, pre-writing stuff, things that are about organization or writing development, literature reviews, things that are more research heavy, methods, writing, general tips for grammar and sentence creation. So there's a mix of writing stuff here that we make in-house and which is available for TAMIU students. I also got some information sessions. They're the same ones that they're posted on our YouTube page, but they are conveniently set up here so you don't have to go looking for them on the YouTube page if you don't want to, as well as links to other TAMIU resources. And then of course, if you are a student right now, most of you are going, since you're at the orientation stage, you're probably not thinking too far ahead about what you're going to do as far as thesis or dissertation. But those of you who are in a thesis or dissertation program, let's say history of political thought or English, something that might involve a lot more writing, thesis and dissertation sources and resources are also available here at the bottom, all the way from how to start, what should you be thinking about, how to format, what the process is like. All of those resources are also here at the bottom of that page, and I try to keep those up to date, specifically for TAMIU students. So, and we also do thesis communities. I can try to get you in touch with, network you with other students who are currently working on their thesis this semester. Last semester, we had tons of students graduating with their thesis and dissertations, completing that. Last year was a record year for thesis and dissertation completions, which is really great to see. I'm sure this year will continue to be a lot of great thesis and dissertation work. But that's only a fraction of what I do. Oh, I didn't post my contact information, but like I said, like I showed you, if you're looking to get in touch with me, the best way to do that is through that schedule appointment button. And I'm sure that Donald can share my other contact information at the end. I'm gonna pass that back to him, I think.
Thank you so much, Franco. So yes, don't hesitate to reach out to our writing consultant resources if you have any sort of assignment that you may need help with, and especially for your thesis and dissertation. The last thing you want to do is have it rejected, make a bunch of different changes. It's better to meet with an expert on the subject to ensure that you have access to that. There are a couple of other resources that are not directly affiliated with TAMIU ARC or graduate school. The first one being the library databases. And you can access that by visiting library.tamiu.edu, which I'm going to show you right now. And so this is basically just an aggregate website that lets you search through anything from databases to specific journals or even search articles. So you'll definitely be using this at some point, like along with your other resources like Google Scholar or if you go direct to JSTOR or EBSCO, anything like that. But there is quite a number of databases available to you as a TAMIU student. And since you pay tuition here and everything, you'll get access to over 1.2 million items, over 240 databases, 800,000 ebooks, and 89,000 e-journals. So take advantage of this while you have your TAMIU credentials, because you can just use that to sign on to any of these databases or search directly on the Stewart Radcliffe Library. And again, this can be accessed by either going to tamiu.edu/library or going to library.tamiu.edu. Another one available, if you don't want to be signing into all of these, you could use the virtual desktop, and this is available to TAMIU students. You sign in the same way that you would sign into e-learning, which is just the Blackboard. So use that. That just allows you to use a TAMIU server. So if you want to access it that way, you can. And if you also have a supplemental instructor tutor assigned to your class, which some of you may and some of you may not, you will be utilizing the virtual desktop to access certain software that's required for your courses. And elearning.tamu.edu again is just for Blackboard. Okay, so it's a lot of content, I know. It's a lot of different resources. Your thesis is probably going to have you stressed out. Your classes may have you stressed out, but TAMU does have some mental health services. So I'm going to now call on our mental health services experts to talk about some of the offerings that TAMU has to help you deal with maybe anxiety or stress or anything else. If you want, just try it.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Anisa. I am a professional counselor with the Office of Student Counseling here at TAMU, and my purpose for today is to be able to share with you all the services that you all have as enrolled graduate students. We're located in the Student Center, Suite 128, so we're right on that first floor, directly across from the food court next to the information area. Just a brief overview of what I'll be sharing with you all today. I'm going to be giving an overview of what the counseling services are here at TAMU. I'll also be giving you a brief overview of when to seek services, so what kind of symptoms should show up when you think you should be seeking those, what to expect from counseling here at TAMU. I'll also be giving you just some brief information on recognizing some suicide warning signs, what to do in the case of emergencies, and then I'll also be sharing with you some suicide awareness opportunities that are available to not only students, but also available to faculty and staff. So just to give you an overview, our counselors here at TAMU are all licensed by the state of Texas to provide mental health counseling to individuals. Some of the common issues that we help students address here are things like academic difficulties, anxiety and stress, maybe time management, maybe you're experiencing some difficulty with coping, maybe family conflict, depression. This is not a limited list. These are just some common things that we've seen in our office, but whatever you might be dealing with or experiencing, we encourage you to come in to see how we might be best support you. One thing that's really important to know is that in order to receive services with us is that you have to be a currently enrolled student in order to receive services. So as long as you are enrolled in one class for that semester, you should be eligible to receive services with us. If you are interested in requesting services, you can either give us a call, and the phone number is listed right there or on our website, or you can come in person to Student Center 128 and we can get you set up for that first appointment. So these are some things that you might want to consider when you think you might be at a point when you should be seeking counseling services. Again, this is not limited. These are just some common things that we have seen in the past. So things like feeling down, but you're still able to keep up with maybe your schoolwork, your job, housework, maybe family responsibilities. Maybe you're feeling down, but you're still able to care for yourself. Maybe you have children or family members and you're still able to take care of them, but you still feel down at the end of the day. Maybe you might be experiencing some sleep disturbances. So you have difficulty either sleeping, going to sleep, staying asleep, difficulty waking up. Maybe you might have some difficulty coping with some specific emotions. Maybe you might be a person who deals with anger or sadness. Appetite or weight changes is also a symptom that can come up with people who are experiencing some mental health struggles. Difficulty concentrating, loss of interest in things that you used to enjoy, or simply just being unable to carry out things that you used to be doing. Now, what's important to recognize too is that if you are experiencing any of these symptoms for more than 2 weeks, that's typically a sign of when you think you should seek some mental health support for yourself. So here are a couple of things that you might want to consider when you do come to counseling with us here at TAMU. So what would happen is you would schedule your initial consultation with a counselor. You will get paired with one and you will have an initial interview. So basically what will happen is you will meet one-on-one with a counselor in a private setting for about 45 minutes. In those 45 minutes, you will share with your counselor what you might be struggling with, what you might be needing support with, and you and your counselor will come up with a game plan to see if our center is something that would best benefit you or if we would need to provide you a referral with another community resource. In that consultation, we'll be talking to you about an informed consent agreement. This is basically a document that has some guidelines and expectations of counseling between the student, the counselor, and the counseling center itself. And we'll also be discussing confidentiality, and that's a really big piece in counseling. So whatever you and your counselor talk about in your sessions is meant to remain confidential. However, there are limits to that. When you are in your appointment with your counselor will share with you what those limits might be, and you might discuss maybe some possible things that could come up that might interfere with that confidentiality. You would also be discussing with your counselor regarding treatment planning. So what are some feasible goals that you and your counselor might be able to work together with for that semester? And every student gets anywhere between 6 to 8 sessions. So let's say, for example, you are enrolled for the spring in one class. For that spring semester, you get 6 to 8 sessions. Let's say you take a class in the summer semester. For that one summer semester you're enrolled, you'll have another 6 to 8 sessions. So everyone gets 6 to 8 sessions every semester. And so you will meet with your counselor one time out of the week over the course of 6 to 8 weeks. And each of those counseling appointments last about 45 minutes. Scheduling and attendance is really important in our office so that we can best accommodate to all the students here at TAMIU. When you're in your initial consultation with your counselor, they will be sure to go over all of those attendance policies and how to best maintain them for yourself. Now I'll share a little bit of information regarding warning signs of suicide. So thoughts of suicide, which we like to call suicidal ideation at times, can begin small. So for example, people might begin to say things like, I wish I wasn't here, I wish I could go to sleep and not wake up, or maybe simply things like nothing else matters anymore. But over time, these can become more explicit and dangerous, and that's what we want to make sure that we can get that person to the appropriate professional support. So some of these warnings, it's not a limited list. These are just some common things that have been observed in people who might be experiencing some suicidal ideation. So things like maybe increased usage of alcohol or drugs, aggressive behavior, maybe impulsive behavior. Maybe they begin to withdraw from friends, family members, maybe their community that they used to be close to. They might be experiencing dramatic mood swings, collecting and saving pills or buying a weapon or a means of lethal harm, giving away their most prized possessions, tying up loose ends like organizing personal documents, maybe saying goodbye, maybe sending last messages to friends and family that might come off as maybe a little bit cryptic. There is hope. There are a lot of resources now that you or loved ones can take advantage of in order to have some kind of early intervention to get that person to professional support. On this slide, there's one resource that's listed there, and that's a National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, and that's 988. So you can either call that number or text that number, and you would get paired with a crisis counselor in that moment so that they could be able to provide you additional support or next steps for you. Now, this is in the case of an emergency here on campus. So if you are in an immediate crisis, so an immediate crisis would be considered if you are a danger to yourself, if you might be in danger of harming someone else, or if you've recently been assaulted or have experienced a traumatic experience. If any of these things have happened to you, you can either call 911 or you can call the TAMIU crisis line. The phone number is 956-326-2230, and you'll have to press 3 in order to get connected with a crisis counselor. This TAMIU crisis line is 24/7, so please keep in mind should anything happen, maybe over the weekend, maybe something occurs at night and it's outside of business hours, students will still have access to this crisis line and can call in at any time and will be connected with a crisis counselor. Now I'll share about two opportunities that students and faculty can take advantage of here at TAMIU. The first one is a QPR training opportunity. So in QPR, you'll learn to recognize warning signs, clues, and how to communicate with someone who might be suicidal in order to get them to professional support. It's important that I say that QPR is not a form of counseling treatment. Going through this training does not certify you to be able to provide professional support to someone who might be experiencing suicidal ideation, but instead what it's going to do is that it's going to help you develop an action plan for you to be able to get someone to professional support. There is going to be an upcoming in-person training for students, and that's going to be happening next month on Friday, February 16th at 9 a.m. The training is about an hour long where you'll receive a lot of information. The training will be conducted by two counselors from the TAMIU Student Counseling Center who will be there to answer any kind of questions and provide additional support to you all. The registration details are forthcoming. There will be a form that you will fill out, and that's going to be either posted on our TAMIU webpage or on our Instagram account with more information. This is not the only date for this training. There will be several that will be conducted throughout the academic year, and there will be training opportunities specifically for faculty and staff as well. This is another similar resource. It is called ASK. It's a very similar training to what QPR is. However, this one is mainly online. You would conduct it by yourself. It's self-paced. It should take you about an hour to complete as well. And you'll also receive a basic overview of what suicide is, some of the statistics, how to recognize suicide behavior, and some protective factors. If you are interested in looking at this, I did include a QR code that you can scan and it'll take you straight to our webpage where you will create an account for yourself and then you can get started automatically. At the end of both of these trainings, if you decide to partake in either one, you will receive a certificate at the end of completion. And lastly, this is just our contact information. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 through 5, with the exception of Wednesday and Thursdays. Wednesdays and Thursdays, we stay open until 6. If you would like to scan that QR code will take you to our TAMIU Student Counseling website that has more information. It has a lot of information regarding psychoeducation on specific mental health topics, and will include that information regarding those trainings. That's pretty much it. Any questions? Yes.
I know that you mentioned attendance and scheduling for the counseling sessions. My question is that will there be a charge in our student bill when we schedule these counseling sessions? And if so, what are the costs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So actually, our counseling services are already integrated into students' tuition and fees. So there's no additional cost to our appointments. So you could just schedule an appointment. We'll verify that you are currently an enrolled student, and then we'll get you scheduled. So there's no additional fee for requesting services with us. Attendance policies differ a little bit. Once you get to that initial consultation, we'll explain a little bit more of what that looks like. Typically, you want to try to prioritize being punctual and attending every appointment, but for the most part, we typically only admit one no-show for your 6 to 8 sessions for that semester. Great question. Any other questions? I believe so, yes. So our appointments are both in person and online. So should a student not make it to campus or they don't live here, I believe we're going to be able to offer online sessions as well. Thank you.
Just making sure there's no questions online. All right, thank you so much, everyone. So this concludes our event, and I guess it's also worth mentioning that any of the other services that were mentioned today on our website and everything is all free of charge, or rather, there's no cost to you. So please access all of the resources to help you out and make your graduate school journey that much easier. All right. That being said, we're gonna open it up to any Q&A if there's any. And other than that, I trust you will stay smart and visit ARC.